Game 1 between RedAlert and Zukarakox in the scReddit Open Finals. Game 1 on Desert Oasis. I am Harlequin, and I am here tonight, and I'm honored to be here tonight with Diggity and Moletrap, our guest commentators for this auspicious event here. And we've had all sorts of technical issues delaying this game. So hopefully we'll be able to get, and the game is over instantly.
We have people complaining about it. They're like, "Oh God, I'm getting Kaiser Permanente.
Yeah.
Can't do anything." 12 o'clock
But you know
position.
what?
We have RedAlert. What? I had
It's
to
gonna
pause.
work this time. This
Oh,
time,
snap. Oh
it's
snap!
gonna work.
Different
I'm
spawning
telling you right
positions.
now, no more technical difficulties. It is on. This game is going to go to completion. There's not going to be any more problems. Period. That is the end of it. I have declared it. And you're right.
Success.
We switched spots. Very interesting.
12 o'clock position, we have RedAlert as the orange Terran. 6 o'clock position, we have Zukarakox as the green Protoss. I've mentioned multiple times that I felt like Void Rays are very abusive on this map. We didn't see Zukarakox do that the last couple times he's opened up on this, and we'll see what essentially RedAlert will do to try to adjust, because I really feel like the dominant feature in the metagame is Void Rays or any sort of air attack like that. Yeah. Moletrap wondering how Zook spawned with PCs and a little bit of in-game chatter going on. So, what are your guys' opinions? Do you think we'll see the exact same builds out of both guys, proxy pylon attempt, things like that? If you guys missed this on YouTube, once again, we on the last match, RedAlert opened with, we saw what I figured was a blink stalker attack, and the opposite end we saw a just one barracks with each of the expansions to try to get, or two barracks with one of the expansions to try to get a kind of balanced army out, which I actually like, and an attempt to go for a more longer economic game, just have all of the unit compositions out there. But do you think we'll see more of the same here, or a little bit more variation?
Yeah, if there's one trend that I've seen so far in this scReddit Open, which I've been quite proud of, honestly, because it's a sophistication thing, is that all the players so far have gone with good, strong games so far. I haven't seen too many cheesy opening rushes. Like once or twice we saw some, fast dual gate zealots or something out of one player, but really everybody I've seen so far has gone for nice, normal, predictable tech, and there have been no surprises. So I'd be very surprised to see a bunch of proxy Void Rays or anything like that, even though they are so good against Terran, kind of in the meta game. We'll see, but I think we're just going to see more of the same. We're going to see standard Gateway Army and probably standard ground army from Terran. Maybe some Medic Marine Marauder and maybe a couple of tanks. I would be surprised if there weren't some drops, but other than that, I don't think anything too cheesy.
Looks like on one end we do have a tech lab being built once again with the orbital command center. A little bit of a mistake and a loss of 33 minerals. It looked like, I'm not sure if RedAlert's just kind of playing lackadaisical because of all the restarts, or playing a little nervous because of all the casting, but canceling a supply depot right there and now getting the mule down. But yeah, canceling supply depot, it's going to hurt him a little bit, slow him down a little bit, but nothing too catastrophic. In the meantime, 2 gas. Never mind. This is... yeah, okay, yes! Haha! I do know what I'm talking about. Zook placing his second gas along with the cybernetics score and warping in a zealot to try to chase that SCV around, perhaps, out on the front. Really, I don't like early zealots on this map at all, just because, one, great distance, two, you're going to have a hard time catching that SCV as it is, but he's running right up to it, and it looks like he's going to get a couple smacks and maybe even pin it in the corner here.
Ooh, if he escapes for the moment, he's going to spot that core blinking around and such, and it looks like Zukarakox is going for exactly the same build as before. He's gone straight for the warp gate tech as soon as his core came up. A little bit after his core came up, he's got that probe hiding in the corner so that it can build a forward pylon. And it looks like we're seeing basically the same thing out of both players. They seem to, neither player really, unless they went back and watched the replay, neither player really saw what the other was doing before the drops happened. So I'm not terribly surprised to see them kind of doing the same thing. And just going with what they were planning before. So basically, right now is kind of where we left the game before. I guess about 2 minutes from now is where we left the game before, because this is exactly what Zukarakox did before, getting those extra gateways. There's that pylon down forward in a forward position, and again, going for the one tech lab, one reactor for RedAlert. So pretty much the same exact thing going on here. So if it goes the same as it did before the mess ups, we see the Twilight Council as well. Then we're going to see a fourth gateway going down at some point, and then just 4-gate warp gate pressure coming from Zukarakox.
Yeah, I really like that build. Almost without hesitating, each player literally did exactly what they did in all of the previous attempts without trying to cheat or trying to do a different thing or psych each other out. Everybody's doing the same thing as normal, just with the positions flipped. So we have a proxy pylon for Zukarakox. We've got fast Stimpak and Marauder Marine going for Red Alert, and we've got fast 3 gateway tech with Twilight Council, which really I'm curious to see if he's going to get Charge or Blink. I would expect Blink though, honestly, but he's got a pretty good mix of gateway units, and he's probably going to keep warping in up at the top there.
Oh, this is huge. We got an SCV for Red Alert just kind of hiding out the natural expansion. He could have actually walked right up the ramp because currently there's nothing there to stop it, and this is going to be running right in. He's going to see everything here before that attack is executed, and that is going to put him in a good reactionary position. Let's see if he immediately, he's still going to build that command center. Let's see if he plants down another barracks, get some more troops out here rapidly. But right now Zook is pushing up to try to get this tech up the ramp, but he's running headlong. No. Perhaps forcing that a little bit.
Beautiful.
I do like that. I think he might have panicked a little bit with that SCV in his base, realizing he needed to execute that attack. He's still going to try to press forward with this, but I still feel like Red Alert has plenty of forces to cope with this.
Yeah, Red Alert's in a fine position, I think, at the moment. He's got the command center almost built. I don't think he's quite going to be able to move out and take control of his expansion just yet. But yeah, having the top of that ramp, Zukarakox thought he had more of an advantage than he did, I guess. He tried to push in there, just did not have the forces. He's got those zealots in there. What is going on at the Twilight Council? Blink is going on, so he might be able to... I don't know if Blink's really going to help him in this situation, except for maybe getting Stalkers up the ramp at some point. But, I think almost Zealot legs would have been almost, I don't know. It depends on where the battle is fought, what sort of thing is going to be better. But you're right. Just like you said before, he's going to start putting out a lot of Stalkers here and putting pressure on there. And at some point, once Blink is completed, Blink is completed. As soon as he gets one Zealot up that ramp, he's going to be able to just blink things past and engage full bore. But those concussive missiles are really keeping him from being maneuverable. He's picked off a couple units so far already. And where is that orbital command going?
I think just doing some spotting. Ooh, this is one advantage, and I like that, actually. I think that was a sacrificial Marauder right there. He intentionally set it down the ramp to drain these sentries of energy, because it's one thing Zook can do in the meantime is basically isolate an army in half just by planting a single sentry, and he needs to keep the sentry production up as a result. So it's kind of almost like a running gambit thing, keeping an eye on the army and getting that entire army down the ramp before... There! Nice split by Zook! And he's going to be able to catch a lot of that army on the pin. But it looks like he's still getting a lot of hits underneath, so I still think it was just about an even trade. And let's see if Zook backs off now. He is going to be able to back off. I'd still say that's about an even trade. Red Alert still has a very large army. He still is basically just trying to delay as long as possible, deny that natural expansion. And Red Alert needs to be a little bit more careful with that command center, because that is going to go into the red fairly quickly and expend a little bit more. Yeah, okay, now he's backing out. But I really like the way Zook is playing right here. He's basically pinning a little bit overcosted. Might want to throw in some zealots just because he has so many minerals here. But also putting down, he does have a warp prism just wandering up to Red Alert's main. I saw that he had the robotics facility. Did not see that he had the warp prism that's just going to hang out and just do devastation. If you can get some zealots back there, it's going to be horrible. Basically, Red Alert's not going to be able to defend both positions at once, and it looks like the warp prism is landing. The zealots warping in, and this is going to be devastation.
Wow. So now Zukarakox holding the front hostage with these stalkers and also warping the zealots in the back. I don't know if Red Alert even sees this yet. He does see he's going to pull his forces back. As Zukarakox wants to move in, this is his chance right now. I don't know if he quite has the army to really take out that army, though. So he might not even want to take that opportunity to move in. But, wow. And so now with that warp, though, he can just keep warping in units a little bit closer than that proxy pylon and group up his stuff a little bit quicker. I didn't see how many kills he got there, though. On the SCVs. Did he actually do significant damage with that?
Yeah, he got quite a few kills.
Yeah, I'd say he hit about 4 or 5 SCVs there, because there was a good while where 2 zealots just sat there swinging away with no reaction. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was 4 or 5 or 6.
Specifically what he's doing here, though, is he's delayed that natural expansion. He's got his own natural expansion building, and he's managed to get some tech. He's really at a vulnerable position here, though, because he has the 5 gateways. He's got a lot of units out here, and really he doesn't have enough to stop Red Alert if Red Alert just went out for a full-on brutal attack and kept just a little bit in the back of his base. But it looks like that Warp Prism doing a fantastic job warping more units in. That is going to be the key key to pinning him back, is making sure he has to stay to deal with that Warp Prism and just dropping units now at this stage rather than warping them in and backing out very gently. I think that is why we see RedAlert going with that starport. He's actually supply capped himself at this stage. He's getting a medevac, actually. I was almost expecting a Viking to deal with that Warp Prism, but going for a medevac instead. He's just going to continue to macro here, and right now, yes, the mules are keeping him economically ahead, but that's kind of standard for Terran and all the units out, but just and it looks like he has landed a factory. Thank you for blinking that. He's landed a factory on the low ground. RedAlert, instead of going for his natural expansion, is actually going to float out to the 3 o'clock position. A Hellion at the lower position is going to wander his way around, see what damage he can get, and there's nothing inside Zook's base to defend against this Hellion.
Wow. Yeah, this Hellion could do tons of damage. Here he comes in towards the natural expansion. Oh my god, probes! I'm so sorry for your families. They're going to be crying for weeks. Uh-oh. Yeah, getting a few kills here. The probes have nothing to do, nowhere to go. He can warp. He doesn't even have a pylon there. He can warp stuff into his main. He's warping a stalker into his main to try and fight that, but in the meantime, losing 7 probes. Never mind. Going up to 10 probes, dying to that one Hellion. And it might even be more. Oh, the Hellion is still at it. 12 kills, 13 kills on the Hellion, and it's still running around. That stalker needs to blink up there, and well, actually, it doesn't really matter. So 13 probe kills, nice counterattack there, and where did that command center go? It's floating over to the left side of the map, strangely enough.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with Zukarakox's just general strategy here. That was really unfortunate that he didn't have any sort of defense of that expansion, but so far he's been really containing a much more aggressive and, typically a much more aggressive and well-developed player, and using this nice little bifurcated attack strategy between the Warp Prism and the main army, and really just stalling and stalling and stalling. And frankly, RedAlert, by dropping that single really successful Hellion, just really evened this matchup. He's been floating around with this command center forever trying to find a home for it, but by taking out that expansion and killing 13 probes with a single Hellion, he really has just kind of evened that up economically. Although he himself is about to be mined out and will be really desperate for some sort of economic relief here pretty soon.
Yeah, I gotta say, this has been a beautiful contain. It looks like Zook is just going to be able to sit back and starve out, but a huge drop on the main. Just Marauders, the medevacs just destroying everything there, and I do not believe that Zook has enough to defend this. He's going to go for a counterattack in the meantime straight up the front door because he's basically dedicated to doing so. A bunch of sentries there focusing on an empty bunker. They need to get that shield up to defend there, and that's really going to be the key battle, and it looks like RedAlert is going to be able to pull out of this, loading up back in his medevac, going to be able to swing back to his main. Still the natural expansion is functioning, but RedAlert has a ton of troops on the ground, and I feel like he can just attack, move towards that natural secondary. He can probably take an expansion out despite that Zealot just sitting there. And it looks like he is going to do so. That natural expansion is completely exposed, and I think that is going to be GG. So a lot of build-up, some beautiful contain, but unfortunately not going to pay off for Zook as he was not able to hunt down those medevacs as they were dropping all over his face.